449-8686 about ear piercing and tattooing and whether or not your kids should be allowed. Let's go to Corona. Yes, sir.
Phil, how you doing?
Good.
My daughter Ashley, Phil, is 12 years old, and I wanted to spend some time with her because much of my time is either work or I spend a lot of my time with my son, who plays a lot of sports, and she had been walking around the house since the beginning of summer wanting her ears pierced.
Yeah, my daughter the same way.
All right, so she asked her mother, and her mother said, well, ask your dad. So we talked it over. She finally said it'd be a good idea, and it was a good way for me to spend some time with my daughter because I don't ordinarily. My son is involved in a lot of sports. I'm with him. I do a lot of time on the job, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time with my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She's 12 years old.
12, okay.
So I said, all right, honey, let's go to the mall on Saturday, and we went to get her ears pierced. So we went over there to the Corona Fashion Plaza, and they got one of these piercing huts where they pierced the girls' ears. So I took my daughter over there, and there was one other girl there, and it was kind of early in the morning. They had just opened it up about probably about 9:30 in the morning.
Right. I remember taking over, if I could just interrupt, I remember taking Maria and I took Catherine over, and she's 8, and she had her ears pierced. I was marveling how little boys and grown-up boys pass out when they see a needle, but little girls can't wait to get their ear pierced.
Right. Well, I mean, that there's some of that in what happened to us because...
but isn't that funny? I mean, young men and, men can't handle a needle, but little girls who are like, 8, 9, 10 years of age, they can't wait to stick a needle through their ear.
Well, I'll tell you that there was one other girl there, and she was getting her ears pierced, and they had apparently she had talked her father into it.
She talked her dad into it?
Yes, sir.
This was another little girl.
There was another little girl there. So he's only... So he does it, and he's getting his ears pierced, and they ask me would I like to have my ears pierced, and I say no, sir, no, sir, no, sir, because that's something that is not particularly my speed. And my daughter starts to beg me and says, come on, Daddy, you look really cool. And I said, I debated back and forth.
Had your daughter gotten her ears pierced yet?
She had. This other little girl ahead of her, and then her father got his ear pierced. And my daughter did, and they said to me, would you want to get your ear pierced? And my daughter's asking me, and I said, no, sir, I'm not interested in that. But my daughter kept on and on. I said, all right, I'll do it because this other guy had done it, and I didn't want to look like a fool, I guess. I wanted to please my little girl. And
well, you were doing it because you felt pressured into it because some other guy, the other father, had done it?
I did it because his daughter got her ear pierced. He got his ear pierced, my little girl, and I didn't want to look like a fool or anything like that. So I started to sit down in the chair, and boy, I'm remembering the story now. It's a little difficult.
That's okay. Take your time. Take a deep breath.
Well, I started to get a little bit lightheaded because I sat down in the chair, and they began rubbing alcohol on my earlobe, I guess to disinfect it, and I started to get a little... I told the woman I was getting a little bit lightheaded. And
why were you getting lightheaded?
Just, I can tell you something. Have you ever had your ear pierced?
Yes, I have a pierced ear.
Okay, I can tell you something right now. I don't know about you, but there's a little bit of trepidation and fear that goes on anytime you're going to have your body pierced or a needle in it.
No, I can understand that. So were you afraid?
I was a little bit afraid, and she gave me a stuffed animal to hold on to.
She gave you a stuffed animal?
That's correct. She said that sometimes they do that with the kids who get frightened, and she came at my head with the piercing gun, and I did black out. Didn't black out, but I lost consciousness for a brief second and hit the floor. And
boy, this is a story. I mean, so you're over in Corona?
Yes, sir.
And your little girl was going to get her ear pierced, and you went ahead and got your ear pierced.
Well, what happened was I wanted to make her happy, and I had no intention of getting my ear pierced, but I didn't want to look like a fool because the other father did. So I got a little scared. They pierced. I guess they came at me with a piercing gun. I blacked out. When I came to, I could hear this father laughing, and I had a pain in my right ear because apparently she'd gone ahead and pierced my ear. And the other father was laughing because I passed out, and he says, that I told her to pierce the right ear, which I did do. And
Well, okay, so you told her to pierce the right ear. Ordinarily, we get our left ears pierced. Is that why he's laughing?
well, he said that makes me.
What's your name?
My name is Steve.
What happened, Steve?
He said because I had my right ear pierced, it makes me look gay. And the girl said that the only place I'll fit in now is the Club Probe. And I'm going to assume that's some gay place.
Well, that stuff is bullcrap because, first of all, that right ear, left ear thing don't mean nothing. Most straight guys get their left ear pierced just in case because they don't want to be hit on. But it's...
Well, the first thing, I can't take it out because she said not to take it out for 6 weeks. So now I have my left ear pierced, and that's why I called up my attorney, and that's what I told your producer.
Well, you're calling your attorney to do what? I mean, if she pierced your right ear, you told her to pierce your right ear, right?
I did, because I'm right-handed, and I thought that's how I went. Nobody gave me any information. Nobody told me anything about which ear you're supposed to have pierced. What I basically said to her was, what you people have done is you've not given me any warning. You don't have a sign warning that if you get your right ear pierced, you could look gay or anything like that. The father, a guy by the name of Tim Wayne, was laughing at me, and his daughter and my daughter talked me into it, and this is what I get for trying to spend time with my daughter. So I've called my attorney at least to pursue legal ramifications because this is a very important thing, Mr. Hendrie. I think it's a very important issue. And
hold on for a minute. You're telling me that you're going to sue the Pierce Hut that pierced your right ear by mistake. You told them to.
I did, but they did not have any sign warning that if you pierce your right ear, people will think you're gay. And
okay, but you're going to sue them. You're going to sue the father for laughing at you, and you're going to sue. Are you suing your own daughter? Did you say?
No, I've called my attorney about that. But what I'm trying to say is, in response to your question, I think any piercing, any body tattooing has to be done seriously because they made me look like a fool. Now I have a pierced right ear. I passed out because it hurt. And
you passed out because there was pain?
Well, because they came at me with the gun, and now they're laughing at me.
Well, you got to understand. I mean, if you go to a piercing hut and you pass out, people are going to laugh at you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the phone number here. What is your name?
I'm Stephen, Phil.
Don't want to give me your last name?
I would appreciate it if you didn't.
Okay, 1-800-449-8686 is the number. We're talking to Stephen Bosell. Even though he didn't give me his last name, I happen to know it from our screener. And
well, Mr. Hendrie, I don't think...
Just hold on for a minute. And he went to a ear piercing place, got his ear pierced, but apparently passed out from, I guess he was afraid that he was going to hurt. Got his right ear pierced. He is going to sue the piercing hut that did the job because they didn't warn him, if you get your right ear pierced, people may think you're gay. Also, apparently there were some comments made. Steve?
Yes, sir.
What were the comments made specifically by the girl in the hut?
The girl in the hut said that the only place I'm going to fit in now is the Club Probe.
And what did the father say?
And the other man, the father, said that if I get my right ear pierced, that means I'm gay. And he was talking, and he was laughing.
Were they were both laughing?
They were both laughing, yes, sir. So the reason why, Mr. Hendrie, I think it's important for a lot of parents to know that you should exercise some parental control over your kids getting their ears pierced. And
yeah, but while we're exercising control over our kids getting their ears pierced, it sounded like your daughter's fine. You took her there to get her ear pierced.
That I did take her there, but if you take your daughter to get her ear pierced, and you do, you could wind up being humiliated or looking like a fool.
And you feel that that's what happened to you?
Yes, because I want to please my little girl. I wound up looking like a fool.
All right, hold on, Steve, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that guy is like, he sounds like he's on edge. He went and got his daughter's ear pierced, and they pierced his ear, and it was the wrong ear, and he passed out, and there was a guy there laughing at him, and the girl who pierced it, she was laughing, and he wants to sue. And they didn't have a sign that says, if you get your right ear pierced, people will think you're gay. Boy, that would have saved all of us, wouldn't it? My left ear's pierced, so I guess I'm safe. 1-800-449, I got to get this earring out, man. This is so passé. The only reason I got my ear pierced is I saw Dick Dale in a movie one time, and he had this big hanging earring, and he had this processed pompadour. I said, oh, that looks really cool. But then I lost my hair. All right, 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686. We were talking about piercing, whether you should get your kids, allow your kids to have their ears pierced or their tongues pierced or, tattoos. And this man is called from Corona, California, saying that basically he took his daughter to get her ear pierced, and she talked him into getting his ear pierced. And they pierced the right ear, which he is afraid makes him look like he's gay. And so he's threatening a lawsuit against the piercing hut. But there's also other things involved, sir, isn't there?
Well, the other thing is that I think the piercing hut should have a sign saying, if you get your right ear pierced, people think you're gay, which they didn't do.
And also, you were talking about the guy laughing at you?
Well, the other father laughed at me, and I just think it made me look like a fool, my daughter talking me into it. I have been informed I can't sue my own daughter, and I don't want to sue my own daughter. But why did she talk me into something that would make me look stupid is all.
Because she's a 12-year-old girl? Because she's a 12-year-old girl, and she wanted her daddy to do something that was fun because she saw another daddy doing it.
Well, I just don't see it.
You just don't see your 12-year-old daughter saying, Daddy, get your ear pierced.
How come I got the right ear pierced?
Because you told her to pierce the right ear.
Why didn't they tell me? See, all these questions are not answered, and that's what's really making me, what's tightening my jaws.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to put a sign up that says, don't get your right ear pierced, you look gay. Here's Austin on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Hi. Hi, Austin. Go ahead. Okay, Austin, you want to talk, or do you want me to hang up? You're gone. Here is Fort White on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Is this guy's name Steve?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Nancy. How you doing?
I'm not doing good right now, but...
Sir, I was listening to your story, and I really feel for how your story. I mean, my heart breaks for you. It's not fair what happened to you. But if you take that earring out, I know they told you to leave it in there for 6 weeks. That's so the hole won't ever grow shut.
They told me to leave it in for 6 weeks.
Right.
And
well,
they put in what's called a surgical post.
Right. I had them put in. I got double piercings in both my ears. And you can take that earring out yourself, and that hole will grow right shut. And if you don't want to, have your doctor take it out.
I can't take that out, though, because
you can.
Because of the surgical post, I can't take it out.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You can go to a doctor.
Yeah.
But if I go, that's the whole point of what I'm trying to say, that no one will hear me. If I go to the doctor, he's going to look at my ear being pierced and think I'm some kind of a gay.
That's not true.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If you look at where the people have their ear pierced, most men have their ear pierced on the right ear or on the left ear. They didn't say nothing to me about having my right ear pierced. Now I look like one of these gay boys.
I understand, and you're devastated. I understand.
Okay.
I would be too.
Yeah, you make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you.
You go ahead and make fun of me. But the point is that I can't go to a doctor because my family doctor is going to look at me and say, Steve Bosell, what kind of a fruit are you getting your right ear pierced like that?
Well, tell him it was a mistake. Tell him you didn't know.
I can tell him, but it's still there. Oh, man.
You're really upset.
Yes, I am.
Los Angeles on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Oh, I had my ears pierced, and when I went to bed, it came out.
Yeah.
And the hole healed up, and you could never tell that I had my ear pierced.
But the doctor's going to know if I go to the doctor.
You don't need to go to a doctor. Just pull it out yourself.
I can't do it.
Put a little alcohol on and have somebody pull it out.
Oh, God, I can't do that because
well, let your daughter do it. Or
why don't you let your daughter do it or something?
I can't. It's very painful. I passed
out.
No,
you're too much of a baby.
No, ma'am, I'm not. I'm a father, and I have a son and a daughter, but it hurt when they did it.
It doesn't hurt because I've had my ears
Try it right
again.
now. Is it in your ear right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you in front of a mirror?
Yeah.
I'm near one right now.
No, I'm talking to the man. Okay. Take the thing. Isn't there a ma'am in those surgical posts? Isn't there a little pin they pull out the back of it?
Yeah, that's nothing.
Okay.
Anybody.
I got it now.
Just
go ahead, try it.
Put a little alcohol on.
Put some alcohol on.
All right, hold on.
And it'll deaden any pain.
It'll deaden it.
Just pull that thing out.
Okay, now pull
and don't wait too long.
Pull the thing out.
Yeah.
Ow, 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 ow.
Is it out?
Did you pull it out?
No.
Well, you got to get somebody to pull it out because you're being too much of a baby.
No, ma'am. What I'm trying...
Try it one more time, Steve.
My wife and daughter are going to get home soon.
Try it one more time.
Okay, here goes. Wait. Ow, ow, ow! Ouch!
Is it out?
No.
Well, it should be out.
God.
And don't tell me, because it's only a little weeny thing and it's a little hole.
A little weenie.
Well, did you put some alcohol?
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to put alcohol. Hold on.
Put the alcohol on it, Steve.
Okay, hold on. Okay, here goes.
Are you ready?
Yeah, here goes. Please, God, don't let it hurt. Ow, ow.
Are you pulling on it?
Yes, I'm pulling on it. It hurts.
You might as well have your wife do it.
I can't let my wife do it. She's going to think I'm a baby. Oh, man.
Well, you are a baby.
What makes you think that?
Because you won't let your wife do it.
I don't want her looking at me crying and everything.
Listen, you're the same guy that got upset and was because you took your kid for a doll, and the doll looked too feminine, and you got all hot and bothered.
Ow, ow, ow.
Are you still pulling on it?
Yeah. Now I'll try the earring next.
Well, what were you pulling on just then?
Never mind. Ow, 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 ow. Ow! You can't tell me you actually got one of these out, man, because it's too painful.
Listen, there's no pain at all.
I had a surgical post in my ear, and they took it out after a few weeks and stuck.
I know. I had it done, and it came out in my sleep.
Ow! Ow! Man, that hurts.
What are you doing?
Listen, I don't believe him. Phil, I don't know where you get these creeps on your program.
Ma'am, all I know is I love my daughter. I got my ear pierced.
Oh, you're full of baloney. You're full of baloney. You love your daughter.
I love my daughter deeply.
You love to be on television and like to sue people. That's all.
Ow!
Well, you might as well stop if you can't get it out, okay?
I damn near ripped my earlobe off. Are you happy, ma'am?
No, I'm not,
Okay,
because you're the kind that you sue everybody for everything. When the doll...
These people deserve to be sued because they don't have a sign saying that if you get an earring in your right ear, you could be gay. They don't put the sign up there.
So
Where's your
what
earring?
are you afraid of being gay?
Oh, you got an earring in? Do you have an earring in your right ear?
Yeah.
You're gay. At least that's what the world's going to think.
I don't care what they think. How can you be gay if you've got a family and a wife and a
They don't know that.
Gay?
They don't know that. They don't know that.
Well,
I just go out in the world.
Your doctor knows.
And I got a right earring, and they're all going, "Hey,
but
fancy
doesn't
boy."
Your doctor know?
Hey, cute. My
that
doctor.
You're not gay?
My doctor. Yeah, but he might think I've turned.
So, come on! I can't talk to such a stupid idiot. An idiot.
You really are acting stupid. You got a daughter and a wife and a son. Suck it up. Pull the thing out. Go back to the piercing hut and tell them you want it out.
Oh, how would that look? Oh, yes, sure. To the very place that I passed out?
Yes, go there where you passed out.
Let me try it one more time. Is there any kind of pain deadening? You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to take a swig of whiskey. Hold on. I got to get good and drunk.
What is this, Clint Eastwood and 2 Mules for Sister Sarah? Just put the thing in there.
Ow! It hurts. It hurts bad, ma'am.
Listen.
Yeah?
Take a pliers and pull it out.
Pliers, huh? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, that hurts, too.
Well, you couldn't have gotten a pliers so fast, so you're full of baloney.
No, I had some handy.
You're full of baloney. You cut the bottom of your ear off.
I had some handy. My wife keeps them by the bed.
Well, I think you're a nut. I really do, and I don't even want to talk anymore.
I don't blame you, ma'am.
You're a nut.
Look at
and I think Phil Hendrie is crazy for having people the way he does.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Idiot.
I think you're an idiot, Mr. Hendrie, for taking that lady's call.
Oh, now I'm an idiot. She thinks I'm stupid, and you think I'm stupid.
That's right.
1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. To a mall over the weekend, got his daughter's ear pierced, and also got his own ear pierced in the process. And what we are finding here is that Steve apparently had a adverse reaction to the piercing, passed out, woke up to people laughing at him. And not only were they laughing at you, Steve, is my understanding, they apparently didn't tell you that piercing your right ear means you're gay.
They should have had a sign that said that. Now I'm at home trying to get this thing out of my ear so that I don't look, like a fool. And What I have right now? Oh, what I have is a soldering iron. I'm trying to burn it off, and it just isn't. It's not budging.
Which direction are you trying to pull the thing out?
I'm trying to pull it out of my earlobe.
Yeah, but which way? I mean, it sounds you're screaming. It sounds like you're trying to pull it out the back side.
Well, I was trying to pull it from back to front, from out the back of my ear.
Yeah,
that's where I'm pulling from.
Is that what you're doing?
That's what I was doing. Yeah.
You have to pull from the front, not the back. You're trying to pull the freaking thing through your ear?
Let me try the thing one more time.
Forget about that lathe. Turn that off. Take the back of the post off and then pull it out. Pull the thing from front out, not back out. Here's Miami Beach on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello. Miami Beach, hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're on the air.
Yes, I just have a comment for this man. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that he thinks that he can sue this air pairs company because he is just cashing in and he's trying to sue them and get money. This air pairs company has no reason to have a sign out saying that, you know, if you get your right ear pierced, then you're going to be embarrassed for people to say that you're gay. That's ridiculous. Everyone in the world knows, you know, if someone has an earring and which side of the ear that they're gay. And if this man doesn't know that, and he had a 12-year-old girl convince him to get his ear pierced in that ear, that's his fault. He doesn't have to go suing everyone. He is just cashing in. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Steve?
No, the lady's mistaken. I think that it is the responsibility of the piercing company to say, if you're going to have your ear pierced, you should know that people are going to think you're gay. And they did not say that to me, and as a result, I've been put through mental...
Where have you been for the past 50 years? Where are you living?
I live in California, ma'am. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. I don't think that has any bearing on what I'm talking about.
I think it does. I think if you ask anyone on the streets, they will know.
Well, ma'am, I don't live on the street. I'm a father and a husband, and I have my own business, and I don't hang around tattoo parlors, and I don't hang around piercing huts. What I do is I raise children,
So you have the earring in your ear, so now deal with it. Don't act like a baby. You have a family.
I'm trying to... Oh, that hurts.
You're just acting ridiculous.
How am I acting ridiculous? I'm trying to get it out.
Don't burn it off. I don't know. What are you doing?
I've got a soldering iron.
Well, what are you doing a soldering iron, man? Why don't you wait, take it to the doctor?
I already told you why I can't go to the doctor. He's going to think I'm queer.
I feel really bad for your wife. I really do. Because if you act like this...
I'm the one who's in pain, and you feel bad for my wife all of a sudden. How does that happen? How does that work?
Because she is married to a wuss.
I'm the one who they lied to.
And you did something nice for your daughter. You got your ear pierced because she wanted you to do that, and the other father did it. Why don't you just have a ball with it and say, hey, look, Daddy got his ear pierced, and I'm going to have to take it out. And
it's not that I want to take it out. I want to get the other ear pierced. Okay?
I've had my ear pierced for 10 years, and I can take them out every single day, and so can everyone else in the world who has an ear pierce. How come you're having such trouble?
Because I can't get it out. And every time I try to, ow, ow, ow. See? It hurts. It hurts. The ear pierce shop needs to be as responsible as Mazda. They tell men if they buy a Miata, they'll look gay. They need to tell them that.
If they buy a Miata...
Mazda should tell men if they buy a Miata, they look gay.
I've never seen a sign up in the car dealership saying that if you buy this car, then you're gay. I've never seen that.
Well, then, ma'am, I feel sorry for you. Because...
Well, I haven't either.
Mr. Hendrie, you mean you don't know that?
Don't I know what?
Boy, there's something I know that you two don't know. If you buy a Miata, you look as queer as a $3 bill.
Well,
you
just said there are signs up in the dealerships. I've never seen one.
Well, they should start.
Okay, let me ask the question. How many Miatas do you own?
I bought one 6 months ago.
All right, so you bought a Miata and you have your right ear pierced.
Everything I do points to gay. And that's the thing that bothers me. Ow, ow, ow. I can't get it out.
I can't wait until a gay person calls this show and has something to say to him.
Thank you very much for your call, ma'am. 1-800-449-8686. Here's Gainesville on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Steve, I'm a surgical tech, and I'm just telling you, all you got to do is take the back off the back of your ear.
Okay, that's it. It's one of those surgical posts. I can't get it off.
All you got to do is remove the back and pull it out. Now, I've pulled a pearl earring through my ear from one hole to the other. I think that you were the adult, and you made the decision to get your ear pierced. Your 12-year-old daughter didn't twist your arm and say, oh, Dad, you got to go get your ear pierced.
But shouldn't she have warned me that I could be looked at like I'm queer if I have my
you're
right
the
ear?
adult. Look,
How do you expect a 12-year-old girl to say, Daddy, don't get the right ear pierced, you'll look gay?
That's just like that.
Well, she shouldn't have. But the bottom line is you were the adult and you made the decision to get your ear pierced. There's a lot of young men out there who are heterosexual, who have both their ears pierced, their nipples pierced, their tongue pierced, and down below pierced.
Wait a minute, I'm going to try something else. Hold on for just a second. What I want to try to do is get the...
What is that?
All you have to do is pull it out.
I'm sorry?
All you have to do is pull it out.
What was that?
That's my vacuum cleaner.
Well, what are you going to do, suck it out of your ear?
I think
you love to make fun of people, Mr. Hendrie.
No,
I'm a father, and you got no respect.
You're making it fun of yourself. Using a vacuum cleaner, you must be on acid or something. Only a guy on acid would try a vacuum cleaner and solder the ear off. Why don't you go to the emergency room and use a scalpel and say, cut my ear off,
Only
please.
a guy on acid would use a vacuum cleaner to suck an earring out of his ear.
I'm serious.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Oh, he just hung up on me.
No, he hung up on me.
Yeah.
That's because he's a total freak.
This
guy is just total ridiculous.
The dude tried to solder the earring off his ear, and he tried to suck it out of his ear with a vacuum cleaner.
Then he's trying to suck it off.
Well, let's not get personal.
Well,
anyway, I know
it. With a vacuum cleaner.
I understand.
That's what the vacuum cleaner does.
It's a very good point.
I just think he's being ridiculous. He's an adult, and he should act like one instead of a big baby.
Thank you for your call, man.
All right, thank you.
1-800-449-8686. It's Phil Hendrie Show here. Wichita. Hello. Wichita. Hello. Okay, Wichita is gone. And Woodinville. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, sir.
Yeah, he just obviously has got some problems, but the main thing, the 3 points I want to quickly touch on is, first of all, he has to be a man about what he did. He obviously made the decision himself, and needs to stop whining like a little baby. Second of all, if he's trying to tell people how to raise their kids, he shouldn't, obviously the point he was trying to make earlier was that not to give in to peer pressure, giving to peer pressure from his own daughter.
Right.
He's obviously a fool if he's trying to pull it out of the back of his ear. Obviously this court case isn't going to go anywhere because, I don't have my right ear pierced. I do have my left ear pierced, but I'll tell you what, I got a lot of friends that do have their right ear pierced, and nowhere does it say that if you have your right ear pierced, you're gay anyway.
I got a lot of friends who have both ears pierced and everything else. There was that assumption like 15, 20 years ago that if you got your right ear pierced, that's what gay guys did. Of course, if you carried a bandana around in your pocket and it was yellow, that meant something too. I don't know that anybody has... Oh, hold on for a second. Has he called back? Is that you, Mr. Bosell?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say that I walk around with a scar in my ear. I still look gay. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I get the earring out, and that's something that none of you
people... Sounds to me like you're going to look gay if you have this thing in your ear or not, buddy. I'll tell you something. You need to stop being a little baby about it and just move on with your life. Stop trying to sue everybody else.
No, that doesn't work.
No, it's because you're not very smart. Put the vacuum down and put the soldering iron down, and listen to me. Stop being a baby, move on with your life, and don't try to sue everybody. You obviously have some problems, and I don't think you should maybe visit a doctor as much as maybe you should visit a psychiatrist because obviously you have some problems there too.
Okay, so I've called your program, Mr. Hendrie, to be insulted, to be called crazy, to be called a baby, to be called ow, to be called...
You know what, I'm putting them... Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your call. Guy's soldering his ear off, trying to get this thing off. Okay, anyway. If you thought the last hour was funny, call us at 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. And, so I'd like to thank my wife for marrying me, number one. And I mean that because today we had a disaster at our house. See, what happens is this. And there's probably guys like me, and if you are, you're a lucky guy, only to say this. My wife goes through life and corrects all. In other words, she goes through and sweeps up all of the garbage that I leave laying around. And what I mean by that is I get into people's faces, and then she smooths over all the hurt feelings. Today, we had a plumber come out to the house. I said, you need to fix the upstairs tub because something was wrong. And what happened was, and I'm not saying anything other than some water got released into an air conditioning duct and went dripping through a smoke detector that we have and went dripping down into my son's bedroom. And I basically went nuts. And I said, this is like, you got to be putting me on with this, man. I brought you over here to fix this, and this is getting ruined. And one thing I don't do is get personal. But I get really angry when they're called over to do one thing and they wind up wrecking something else. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are we in the middle of a fairly healthy economic period in the history of this country? There's all kinds of work out there. There's all kinds of people that I can call. There are all kinds of plumbers and all kinds of craftsmen, okay? And there's disposable income. So if you come out and you screw somebody's job up, man, when life gets a little bit more difficult, when a recession hits, for instance, who's going to call you? This is the time when you really ought to be doing a good job, because when the inevitable economic downturn arrives, and it's going to, that's the cycle of life, and work's a little thin, somebody's going to want to remember you as being the guy who came out and did a good job, not the other way around. In any event, I got angry. And along comes Maria, and she just smooths it all out. You know, my husband is a major. He's a real clown. Forget about him. What can I do for you? Thank God for her. Same thing with the guys that were doing our backyard, right? I mean, I went nuts there about 3 months ago, threatening all kinds of things, saying that everybody was incompetent. And I even said to my wife as recently as today, I said, it's time to hire a lawyer. We got to hire a lawyer. I'm going to sue! And she said, shut up, calm down. Take one more of your Prozac, have another drink, pop a couple of bennies, have a swig of some bourbon, and drive to work. I said, thank you, honey. You always give me good advice. And, she chilled that whole thing out. So it's nice to have somebody like that in my life, and I really, really appreciate that. Although I'm never going to forgive her for recommending What Dreams May Come. I got it. Or what was that? Oh, that's another piece of crap we saw, What Dreams May Come. But I'm talking about What Lies Beneath. Any movie that starts with what can't be good. What Dreams May Come. Did you ever see that one? Of course you didn't. I'm the only guy. I saw it. It had Robin Williams in it, and it looked really cool because it was about some guy going to hell to rescue his wife. Looked cool. I thought it's just the... Cuba Gooding Jr. was in it doing the bug-eyed act that he does. That's what he does now, is just he does this bug-eyed thing. What happened to him? There was a time when he had a career. Now he's just doing bug-eye. This guy's like the Jerry Colonna of black people. He's just bugging out his eyeballs, making those faces. He ain't doing nothing, man. And he was in this flick, and, that sucked. And then they go to hell, and they get the wife. And I don't know. For some reason, I wanted to go. I'll tell you another movie that doesn't age very well. Good Morning Vietnam. Speaking of Robin Williams movies that aren't, all that great, Good Morning Vietnam is really silly to look at now. It's one of those movies that doesn't age well. Because it's still got that guilty post-Vietnam American view that, boy, all we did was go over there and kill babies, right? And shouldn't we feel horrible about not being friends with the Vietnamese people? And that was that sort of guilt thing that we were going through for a period of time. Now, of course, we realize that we were right, and had we killed more gooks, we would have won. But back then, we were actually entertaining the belief that we should be friends with those people. Ha 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 ha! So that's another movie that sucks. Here's another flick that really blows now that you look at it 30 years later. Easy Rider. Oh, man, is that a joke movie. Actually, it ain't too bad, but that hippie stuff's got to go. Rent that. Get the DVD. They got the DVD of Easy Rider? Rent that. Go see that. And guess what they've re-released? Guess what they've re-released with supposedly never-before scenes? The Exorcist is now in wide re-release. And maybe they've upgraded the way the head turns around in the fake body or something. Did you ever see that movie? The kids were crapping in their pants. You know, I'm a real bad stepfather. I let them watch Exorcist, and guess what I let them watch this past weekend, and they would have been crapping in their pants had they not had a slumber party all together, and they would have had nightmares, seriously. The Fly. And now that's a good flick. The Fly's awesome. And you know why? Because Jeff Goldblum is fantastic in that movie. I ain't saying he's done anything lately that's any good, but that's the one crowning achievement. I'm kidding around. But seriously, that movie was great. I let the kids watch it, and I know when they start hiding their faces behind their hands, it's fantastic. And I knew there'd be nightmares, and the movie was over, and they were lingering in the living room, and they didn't want to go to their bedrooms, and they were like, so, who do you think will win the regionals this year? You know, and they're, who do you like in the series? Oh, guys don't want to go to bed, huh? Well, I don't know. It's okay. The Fly? And so I got to talking with him, and I said, yeah, go ahead. You guys can have a slumber party. The brothers slept together so they don't freak out or anything. And then on about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was going, ooh. I didn't do that. I should have, though. Cut it out. Last movie I showed them, they did the same thing with Alien. They flipped their lids on that one. And then I let the 2 older guys watch... I should have just, like, outside the door going... And then I let them watch that, the 2 older guys watched Exorcist, and that was a bad move because these guys, I'm sleeping, or I was just going down to sleep, and they came to the bedroom door, and I could see them poking their heads, and I go, what's up? We can't sleep. How come? Because of that girl's bed going up and down. Okay. And I said later to Maria, that is the coolest thing. She goes, what? 1973 that movie came out. Almost 20 years later, it's still scaring the crap out of little kids. And the thing, those guys are seeing very sophisticated films now. Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, etc. And then even spoofs on Scary Movie. They say as a laugh riot, it's like, we get it already, man, a whole freaking movie. Anyway, there's so much that they think is scary, like with Scream and with I Know What You Did Last Summer and movies like that, so that when you show them something that's really scary, it's awesome to know that it's really scary. And so they're giving Chris, the youngest one, a whole bunch of crap. I said, boy, I guess you can't sleep from that Alien movie. Yeah, you couldn't sleep because... I said, well, you 2 guys couldn't sleep after seeing Alien. And Alex, the second oldest, he goes, that's different. That's one of the scariest movies that's ever been made. And then Nick goes, yeah, but Alien's one of the top science fictions that's ever been made. Yeah, but that's different from scary. Okay, you guys have a right to be afraid of Exorcist because that's one of the top scary movies of all time. So that was my house this past weekend. I'm Phil Hendrie.